Right now, a bitter global war is raging, but you won't be seeing military hardware or armed troops on the evening news. This is a silent, covert battle waged in the secrecy of cyberspace for the control of our information and data. And I'm not just talking about identity theft or corporate sabotage. By accessing highly sensitive computer files, hostile governments can now cripple power grids, water supplies, even nuclear facilities, without firing a single shot. Creating a national catastrophe has never been easier. And the new weapon of choice for the world's terrorists is the humble laptop. From the surface, you'd never guess what lies beneath these bleak fields in America's Midwest.
So here we go, deep underground.
Yeah. There's about 3 million square feet total.
John Clune is the gatekeeper to a vast, hidden underground bunker.
So this is like the Fort Knox of
It is.
data.
We're able to provide the most secure.
This old mine has been converted into one of the most guarded and secure vaults in the United States.
This is the heart of it.
The heart of it. So we're about 125 feet below ground right now.
John doesn't carry keys or swipe cards. It's his identity that grants him top-level clearance.
Biometric thumb, and then also face recognition.
That's the only way that door will open.
The only way.
What he protects is data, which in this digital age has become more valuable than gold.
Now this is the heart of it. This is where the company's information is stored, and really what we're protecting. This is the mission critical information that companies are run on.
The internet lives here. You're looking at it. Cyberspace, cloud computing, it's not all up in the sky, but hidden deep beneath the surface. These computer servers hold our most precious and private details. Emails, bank accounts, medical records, everything about us. But even all this may not be enough. In what's become a covert, silent cyber war, sophisticated computer hackers will always be one step ahead.
So, Michael, this is your computer. You'll be the victim in this demonstration. And this machine is the hacker's machine. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, you're in front of your machine. This machine, the hacker's machine, could be anywhere in the world.
It's Kevin Haley's business to stay ahead of the hackers. He monitors computer attacks around the world for Symantec, which makes antivirus software. Have a look in their nerve centre. Nearly 10 million attacks on Australian computers alone in a 24-hour period. And this is how they hijack your computer.
And there's your homepage. And let's look at the message you got. It's from your friend Danny. And he says, check out this great video. So, but while we're watching this, our computer has just gotten infected.
So clicking on a stupid video like that, having a bit of a laugh.
That's right.
What's the damage?
We can turn on the webcam. We can capture every keystroke that's typed onto that machine.
So he has completely hijacked my computer.
Absolutely.
With absolute remote control over it.
That's right.
And I don't know at all, do I?
No, you'll never know.
There's nothing that'll pop up on the screen to warn me what's going on?
No.
If anyone wasn't taking the threat of a cyber war seriously, what do you say to them?
Cyber war's already begun.
KT McFarland is a former security advisor to 3 US presidents. If you look up and down this street of Manhattan, Wall Street's just around the corner, all the major banks, the stockbroking houses. Have they been hacked already?
They've all been hacked. 80% of all American companies have already been hacked. And yet, most American companies spend more on their coffee budget than they do on protecting their IT systems.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Sure, they've all been hacked.
KT warns hacking technology has moved far beyond mere fraud to become a dangerous weapon of war. Foreign spies, international crime syndicates and terrorists are now being harboured in cyber sanctuaries such as Eastern Europe and China. And they have made online the new frontline.
We know, for example, that somebody, and we assume it's foreign countries, have hacked into the electric grid of the United States. We know they've hacked into the water systems. We know they've hacked into the banking systems. We certainly know they've hacked into a lot of government agencies.
It was in 2009 that we first saw how crippling a cyber attack could be. US authorities were blindsided when cyber spies hacked into parts of the US power grid. They quickly ran tests to see what damage a computer virus could do. They were shocked. Generators and transformers could be overridden, overloaded, and destroyed. It was a nightmare scenario. Hackers had proved they could hijack power grids across the United States and, with just one keystroke, cause mass blackouts. Previously unthinkable social and economic chaos suddenly was very possible.
I think the software in the power grid that could give somebody control of the grid and allow them to cause things to explode, like transformers, I think that's an act of war.
Richard Clarke was counter-terrorism chief under both Presidents Clinton and Bush.
A lot of things that are traditionally done in warfare with bullets and bombs can now be done by cyber attack.
Clarke famously warned Washington, D.C. heavyweights of the 9/11 attacks before they happened, and few listened. He's now just as worried about relentless cyber attacks from countries like China and Russia, who he says are stealing not only military secrets, but also raiding classified corporate information.
The intellectual property theft is the greatest knowledge transfer in history.
Who are the villains? Who are the cyber criminals?
There's no doubt that there are people in China engaged in this. Some of them are the government, the People's Liberation Army, there's no doubt about that. China goes into private companies and gets proprietary information, research data, and gives that information to Chinese companies, which then compete against the European or American companies that the government has spied on. All of that information is of value, and it's all being stolen on a regular basis, quietly, silently.
If we could actually see that, how do you think we'd react?
Well, there's no public outcry, there's no outrage, there are no body bags lying in the street, there are no bloody corpses that we can show on TV, so it's a very quiet thing.
And you don't have to be connected to the internet to be infected. Perhaps the most destructive and sophisticated virus to date was Stuxnet. It was most likely planted on a portable USB flash drive and physically inserted into a computer at an Iranian nuclear facility, ingeniously designed to activate itself.
And what happened was that this very sophisticated, 50,000 lines of computer code, very sophisticated worm, got in to eventually destroy the nuclear centrifuges. Over 1,000 of the nuclear centrifuges were physically destroyed without a missile, without a bomb. That's the good part. The bad part is that somehow that worm then escaped from the building, got out into cyberspace, ran around.
I mean, this sounds like the equivalent of stealing the blueprint for the atomic bomb in the Cold War days.
That's exactly what it is.
Are you bold enough to say who you think it was?
Well, speculation around the world is that either the United States or Israel or some combination of the two of them did it, and I think that's plausible.
Stuxnet, which was a fascinating piece of malicious code, is kind of what I call the foot in the door of cyber warfare.
Do you respect, admire the hacker who created Stuxnet?
I actually admire the brilliance, the cleverness.
And that's no faint praise. Kevin Mitnick was once the world's most wanted computer hacker. He served 5 years in jail for hacking into some of America's most powerful corporations. Are you surprised, though, that you can get into these companies, even in this day and age, with all of the warnings about security and cybersecurity?
No, because don't forget, even though the companies are smarter, they're much more security aware. The hackers are also becoming more sophisticated.
Who's ahead of the game, then?
I think the hackers.
Today, Kevin's showing me just one way hackers attack, and it's as simple as this. You receive an email that appears to be from your bank, asking you to call because your credit card has some unusual charges. It lists a toll-free number that Kevin owns.
Well, yeah, they see a toll-free number and it looks legit. Yeah. So they call the number and go ahead and listen and watch the screen.
Kevin accepts your call and then immediately redirects it to the real bank.
Please enter your full 16-digit credit card account number.
I'm going to put in my full account number.
And here it is appearing on the screen.
And here it is.
Then he simply listens in on your private conversation.
The toll-free number really is under my control, and I'm what they call the man in the middle.
Just as alarming are hackers who cover their tracks by hiding in our personal computers and then turn them against us. The common tactic is to infect laptops, PCs, mobiles, take control of them without us knowing, and turn them into what's known as a zombie. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of devices are connected to make one supercomputer, which could cause mass social and economic disruption.
They'll send you a document, an Office document, an Excel spreadsheet, a PDF file, a picture, a movie. And as soon as you open it, the game's over. Now the hacker has complete control over your computer.
And the fear in America, at least, is that hijacked computers could be as menacing as hijacked planes. Ground zero here. We didn't see this attack coming. Could there be another 9/11, but caused by cyber terrorism?
Sure.
You're at ground
It could
zero?
have a greater impact on more people and over more time to repair. Yes. I mean, this September 11th, that motivated an entire nation to take seriously Islamic jihad, Islamic extremism. And what would happen if there's a cyber attack? The difference is, we had a hard time finding Osama bin Laden in a cave in Afghanistan. It will be really hard to find out where did a cyber attack initiate from. So you might want to go to war, you might want to defend yourself, you might want revenge, but against whom?
But rather than wait for the worst case scenario, Dick Clark, for one, wants some cyber retaliation now.
I think what we really need to do is say to our politicians, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about the fact that there are all those cyber criminals in Eastern Europe? What are you going to do about the fact that our factories are being closed and our people are being thrown out of work because China is stealing our intellectual property in cyberspace? Get together with other like-minded governments and make criminals and nations that are stealing information like this, make them pay a price.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.